How do you see AI? Is it going to be kind of an assistant? Is it going to be dominating the product manager space? What do you see as the role of AI in product management? Let's take a deeper dive and let's see in every stage of the product management how AI can be useful.
So prior to AI, we used to do our market research we used to Google research, we used to download all the applications, particular competitors application, or sometimes we used to understand all the recitation research. We used to do it by our own. That was a laborious job. That is a laborious task. That is definitely time consuming one.
Just for the layman's understanding, what are the edge cases?
Next is understanding the TAM, total addressable market. You can't go ahead and develop a solution that is feasible for the entire customer base.
So you mentioned wow factor. I think the differentiation part, I think that is pretty important. So who decides this?
At the end of the day, the data should speak. When they launched their product, their competitors were Quality Walls and Baskin Robbins. They used to have vanilla flavored and chocolate flavored ice creams. They enable you much faster to develop the MVP without depending on the engineering team, without adding the burden on them.
There is one term which also comes with MVP, it's called MMF, minimum marketable feature. Is it similar to MVP? Is there any difference?
At different company, there are sometimes growth managers as well who look into this growth loops. Because once you hit the GTM, your task is done at that time.
I read somewhere autonomous product manager. The concept is being floated now. How realistic is that? And is it ever going to happen? Good morning, good evening. Welcome to a brand new episode of FutureForward, a podcast series by Techcanvass on artificial intelligence, business analysis, and data analytics. Every week, we invite an industry expert to have an in-depth discussion on a subject. In this episode of FutureForward, we are going to explore the potential and possibilities of how AI may transform product management, from spotting market opportunities to launch and to growth phase, but always keeping an eye on the key issues of ethics, bias, and data security. To discuss all of this and more, we have Kaushik Samant in the studio, who is a product professional with 12 plus years of experience driving AI, data, and analytics platforms across diverse domains, including healthcare, retail, automotive, and geospatial. Currently working as a BI and data product owner at Nielsen IQ, delivering scalable enterprise solutions to 5 plus departments and global retailers. He is passionate about building AI first, data driven products that solve real world problems with a focus on measurable impact, product scalability, and continuous learning. Let's welcome today's guest. Hi Kaushik, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Abhishek, for inviting me into this podcast.
Great to have you here. So let's start with talking about your professional career.
Sure. I think I started my career in 2012 as a GIS analyst, moreover. Completed my education from University of Mumbai in the field of information technology. So started GIS analyst, got into that field, did the base coding stuff, how maps are being created and all those stuff for 5 years. And then I moved to transition department, and slowly, gradually in 2018 was the actual time when I moved into product space, where I was actually working as a product owner, understanding the product customer need, working into along with the stakeholders with different departments, be it operational, be it from our IT team, engineering team, and also the sales team to understand the requirement, and then delivering the product to the stakeholder as a MVP. And that got approved, and that was something, the first experience I liked about the product management. So since then, it's been more than 7 plus years into product space, working into product owner designation and somewhere as a product manager as well. So designation definitely changes from company, but moreover, the roles and responsibility of product professional remains the same across the organization. It's more about doing the discovery part, understanding customer need, conducting interviews, understanding the pain points, then segmenting it and solutioning it, and then identifying that how can we scale it to the market, maybe internal stakeholders or the external stakeholders. I have more an experience towards the B2B segments. I haven't got an opportunity to yet work directly in B2C yet. So in all these three organizations I have I've worked in GIS, healthcare, and right now I'm in retail segment. I'm on a digital product.
Okay. So good to know about you.
Yeah.
Coming to our topic for this podcast,
Yeah.
Product management and AI in product management. Okay. Let's start with a very basic question. What is product management and what does it involve?
Okay. I think the base of the product management is about understanding customer need and understanding how can we solve that and impact the business in a positive direction in terms of revenue, maybe in terms of customer benefits, experience as well. So this is a role that's between the business need, custom business need, as well as the customer needs and the technology part. So this is the role I would say at its core. It is more about understanding customer needs with empathy, identifying the best possible solution before jumping to the solution, understanding the problem space so much that you need to understand all the edge cases around that problem and then jump to the solution. That's the solution space. So that is the core of product management.
And as a product manager, what are the key responsibilities of a product manager?
Product manager responsibilities is more about understanding the problem space. When I say problem space, doing the problem discovery, market research, secondary analysis, that is market research, primary analysis in user interviews, understanding with empathy, understanding the pain points, and customer segmentation, doing the competitor analysis to understand what the competitor is selling out there in the market. Apart from that, it's more about after you have fully understand the problem, now we jump to the solution space. That's the solutioning part, understanding the MVP, creation of MVP, maybe through prototype. You can use different AI tools right now. Previously, we used to have all this Figma, specifically we used to have this tool, or we used to just draw the user flow and provide the solution. So this is the major roles and responsibilities around providing the solution and then delving into the GTM part, that how we are going to launch the product to the customers, how they are going to like it or not, that keeping a tapping on those particular areas and see what are the further initiative that we need to take to maintain that retention. So overall, if I have to summarize, a product manager would be a journalist having a knowledge about sound knowledge about each and every areas, and then coordinating with the stakeholders across departments.
Right. So before coming to AI in product management, as a product manager, you have to face a lot of challenges, especially with the advent of AI and a lot of things happening around you, right? The market dynamics, the competitors, everything combined together. So can you list down some of the top challenges which a product manager face?
I think that's the challenges part. Definitely the most important top challenges, if I have to let top three challenges in product management before the AI: market research. Second, that is the particular thing, understanding the user interview and edge cases of those user pain points. These two are the top two. And after that, it's about the solutioning part when you design the problem solution document, like maybe the PRD, or you are designing the MVP. That is something really used to take more amount of time. That was the top challenges. That is still sometimes I feel it's still challenging for us as a product manager.
So I just started with the AI part. Now
Yeah.
the topic is about AI in product management. Okay. So broadly speaking, before we get into the specifics of the AI uses in product management, how do you see AI? Is it going to be kind of an assistant? Is it going to be dominating the product manager space? What do you see as the role of AI in product management?
So AI is a technology that is definitely going to help each and every professional out there in the corporate world. For product managers like us, or products professional like us, I must say, it would definitely be our assistant, or a particular tool that you can definitely rely on at any point of time. It is not going to dominate, definitely it's going to leverage the people who are using that in day-to-day product management tasks, going to dominate the actual product space. Why I'm saying? Because in today's world, being faster is the best thing or the only key to stay ahead in the competition. So each task that a product manager does, be it problem discovery, be it developing prototype, be it segmentations, user interview questions, you can leverage AI at its best to summarize it, to do the research in a better way, to build the prototype, to do the questionnaire in a better way, complete cover the edge cases as well. So a person who is going to use AI is definitely going to stay ahead in the competition in the product space. At least I can say that.
Okay. So now let's get take a deeper dive and let's see in every stage of the product management how AI can be useful. So let's start with the discovery phase.
So in product discovery, normally what we do when we get a problem, we try to understand why that problem exists, why the customer or why this particular problem has been identified that this needs to be solved. What's the actual impact around? When I say impact, it's more about understanding how it's impacting the customers. What is the revenue impact? What is the efficiency impact that a person is or the department is facing because of this problem? So prior to AI, we used to do our market research based on, we used to Google research, we used to download all the applications, particular competitors application, or sometimes we used to understand all the recitation research. We used to do it by our own. That was a laborious job. That is a laborious task. That is the definitely time consuming one. But you can't proceed or to the next step unless you have completed this one. So this product discovery, when you do it with help of AI, you can use different LLMs, be it Perplexity, be it ChatGPT, be it DeepSeek, be it Cloud as well. You can use it. You can use and take a reference of those particular, all the different tools and use those points as a key observation points and see which are the actual problems that they are highlighting. How impact is, what is the actual impact around that problem? How big is the problem? Is it solved? Is it something we should solve? And also the citations. Most basically, when you're doing I prefer doing research on whenever I do any kind of discovery, I go to Perplexity because the research citations are very reliable over there. They provide very reliable government sites. Statistica is a website that provides all the summarization of the data in a graphical format. So I would use that. So that has significantly reduced my time, maybe at least by 50%.
Oh, that's quite a bit.
Yeah. So that's where you have to use that, use it responsibly, right? When I say responsibly, you do rely on those information, but validate with your customer interviews, with your primary interviews, research, that is user interviews. It should talk to your user interviews. If it is not talking to your user interviews in the same direction, that means your secondary research is missing some of the crucial points. You might have to revisit those things.
Yeah. So your primary research is the AI tool, and your secondary.
The secondary research is your AI,
Okay.
AI or any of the online research. Primary research is your user interviews.
Okay.
Any of the user interviews that
Actual
you're
data.
taking, the
Actual
actual
customer
data,
data.
the
Okay.
ground level investigation. So whenever you are doing your secondary research, you need to make sure that whatever data it gives you, that is good. But the key insights should talk in the direction of your user primary interviews, primary research. It should go in the same direction. It should not contradict. If it is contradicting, that means there is some mistake either in your primary research questionnaire. Some people might ask close-ended question because of which maybe they might have not received right response. Or maybe at the same time, it might have happened that your secondary research is missing some of the crucial points. You might have to revisit during the project problem. That's where the problem discovery in that space AI is going to help.
Yeah. So basically, you're using both the research modes and then coming to the
Yes.
discovery of the problem.
Yes.
Can you use primary research data? How safe it is to use primary research data while you are putting in a prompt in, let's say, Perplexity AI?
So primary research data, you can summarize it and then you can just see in different LLMs to see what all other information they are providing. It is safe, but you shouldn't put all the data. Reason, since I'm in B2B, I have restriction to put all the data. I have my own restriction, the organization restriction. I need to make sure that I don't end up giving some data that is not real, that is something I shouldn't be doing it. So I would summarize it and then I would say it in my language that, okay, for example, 10 users, maybe 10 out of 100 users, just an example, 10 users are not feeling good about this feature. They have complained this is problem, this button is not working, or this particular report is not up to the mark. Now you can use that summarization that, okay, maybe this many people out of this many percentage of population have informed that this particular report is not working. This particular feature is not up to the mark. They have explored some other features as well. Give me the further suggestion around this problem. Maybe Perplexity or Cloud or ChatGPT would give you some other suggestions around it. You can think about it, but you don't provide your primary data directly. I don't prefer to provide the primary data. I'll just provide the insight maybe, but not the data.
Just a layman type of question. Can you anonymize the data, primary data, saying that, okay, the names and all is changed to something like a placeholder?
That is something doable.
That is,
Yeah.
that
That is that is something you can do it. You can definitely in a raw Excel data, Excel sheet, if you read it, or maybe Word document, you have plotted the customer questionnaire and also this. You can change it. Just change it X and Y, and that you can just feed it into the LLMs and you can just get the insight out of that rather than you summarizing it. What I do is that personally, I take the user interviews, I download it, and I use the authorized tool. That's for me, it's Copilot.
okay.
I would summarize directly
That's
the
an
data.
enterprise edition.
Yeah, that's an enterprise edition. So whatever data set stays within that organizational habit, so I'm allowed to use that. So I use that over there and summarize it. So it's that summarization itself also at times saves me good amount of time, because on an average in a monthly basis I receive somewhere around 30 to 40 requests, and each of the requests summarizing it, identifying the problem, and if I do it manually, it will definitely take a good amount of time. So I'd use Copilot to summarize those requests to understand, okay, are there any key trends across all these requests? Are they pointing to the same set of reports, or there's something, no, they are pointing out to some other data that I need to look into it, or maybe understand, reach out to other departments for this investigation. So I used to summarize moreover through the Copilot. That's the enterprise edition that I'm allowed to use.
Right. So, and do you also use it to, let's say, create questionnaires for interviews?
User interviews questionnaires, basically, if you see, if you have good, thorough product discovery, most of the questionnaires you will be able to create by your own. But the edge cases is something you would, at times I used to miss as well. But with this help of this AI tools, you would always be thankful that they would provide you some open-ended questions, better suggestion. The way you have asked question, they might also suggest you some other way of asking the same question in a very thoughtful way that would give you more information from the stakeholders. So you can use it. And the best part is that it also covers the edge cases that you might miss.
Okay. Just for the layman's understanding, what are the edge cases?
Edge cases means, for example, let's say you are designing a particular mapping application for day-to-day travelers across India. But let's say there are some situations where night during the night time it is not safe for particular travelers during the night time. For example, certain type of roads are very isolated. So that is a kind of edge case that, okay, you have provided the direction, but adding in additional information like notification that after night it is just avoid traveling this route just for the safety. That's an additional information that you might, as a normal product owner, you might not think. That's an edge case. Why they have suggested, might be AI has suggested based on the recent incident that have occurred over there into that stretch of road. So that's an edge case. That is something you might miss out while doing the rest of the question for and addressing the total entire market, entire customer space. But edge cases are the one who are traveling during the night, during that stretch of road. That might not be safe for them. So just giving that kind of feature, it would be helpful, and it would be a bound for those people that, okay, this is an added advantage over the competitors.
No, that's very important actually.
Yeah.
These questions are very important
So
too.
that definitely. So those kind of edge cases are something you might end up, because when we develop, we as a human have a limited bandwidth. At times we might miss out. So you can use AI to generate those questions as well.
Okay, so we were going through the discovery phase. So you have done the questionnaires, you have done the primary, secondary research. Now you have kind of ready with some list of to do things, some thoughts on that. Now, what is the next step, and where does AI help?
So once you are done with this, problem discovery, primary, secondary research is done. Question is user interviews is done. Next is understanding the TAM, total addressable market. You can't go ahead and develop a solution that is feasible for the entire customer base.
Correct.
You have to segment it. That's where the customer segmentation comes into picture in user personas as well. So when you create the user personas, that maybe that particular mapping feature you have created, or maybe just that retailer image which you are providing, would be appealing for the kids because that's an ice cream product, or maybe that's a protein bar. That is something maybe kids also like it, and also the gym lovers, or any of the person who wants protein intake, good protein intake. A normal adult would also prefer that. So you have to address that. What is the TAM? And you have to do the customer segmentation accordingly. The higher the TAM, when I say TAM, it's more over understanding the thing that revenue generation. You have to talk about the revenue generation and what is the proportion of customers we are going to provide that wow moment, or we are going to provide that solution that's going to satisfy them. So the larger is the proportion, we select that accordingly. At the same time, once we are doing that, what are the features that are going to help them? For example, specifically, if I have developed a protein bar for that particular, what are the key ingredients that I'm looking into? What is the flavor I'm looking into? Based on the region where I'm going to deploy, where I'm going to launch it, what is the preferable taste? What are the tropical fruits that they like over there? Maybe that kind of flavor I would think of. So that data I would use it, marketing research through that. And then I would understand the customer segmentation. I would do the segmentation. I would pick up the top features, top 5 features, and understand the effort around it, effort estimation as well. And that's where the solution part starts. How we are going to use AI into it? When you segment that TAM, you segment it. Now you can use the competitor analysis data, that what other competitors are doing it. That's why you can use AI and use it and see that, okay, what are the things that they are doing it. That is something we have to, but what is the additional wow factor for our product? That, okay, that's a unique seller, that's a USP for our product. That's where we have to think about those things. That's where your AI helps us to provide the suggestion. You can take suggestion from them, but feeding those user interviews in data, as well as understanding the providing the time information, being the entire customer base, that you can leverage it. And that those suggestions might be sometime at times if they are helpful as well, because at the end of the day it's more of saying that how we are going to deploy each feature, and that is going to cater to that customer base.
So you mentioned wow factor. I think the differentiation part. I think that is pretty important.
Yes.
So, f- who decides this? The product manager, along with some other stakeholders, who basically decide these things, because this is something which is like a make or break kind of scenario.
So wow factor, when I say, it's not something product manager will own it, but he has to collaborate with the customer success team, with with the sales team, to understand that, okay, this is something we are going to do. What's your thought? At the end of the day, the data should speak that, okay, based on this competitor data, this is something USP factor we are bringing it. Why we are bringing it? Because let's say a tropical fruit is lychee for this particular region, lychee flavored protein bar is needed. Why it's needed? Why? Because in this particular season, consumption of lychee for this particular target or audience or customers is high during the season. So if you're launching this product during this season, ideally just not a vanilla flavor. Insert this kind of flavor, this flavor. Maybe this is something they would definitely prefer to have. This kind of insight is something data would prefer provide you. And that is something over there. It is agreed by, it is taken decision, it is investigated and designed by, suggested by the product owner or product manager. But convincing also, it has to done, it has to be done by the, it has to be validated by the different departments most over, and it should be agreed upon that okay, we are going ahead with them. But owning is up to the product. It is on product manager. He has to own it.
Yeah. So is it similar to like in mango season? We say everything mango flavored.
Yes.
It is similar to that, right?
So if you have heard about the natural ice cream,
Yes.
natural ice cream was strategy was more about these things. When they launched this then line, launched their product, their competitors were Quality Walls and Baskin Robbins. They used to have vanilla flavored and chocolate flavored ice creams back in 1990s. Whereas the natural ice cream owner was the one who searched for the tropical seasoning fruits, coconut and all the chiku, lychee. So all those ice creams actually gave a taste bud to the customer that okay, the fruits that they like, they would definitely love to have that kind of flavor ice cream as well.
Correct.
And they have that fruit presence, fruit pulp presence as well. So that's where that gives them competitive advantages.
Right. So now we have discovered, and now we have kind of also segmented, kind of go-to market strategy to begin with. Now the is it the time when solutioning starts, or
Yes.
is okay?
So when we segment it, Abhishek, that's where the time we have segmented it. We are sure that this is the feature we have to develop. This is the product feature we are going ahead with. This is the effort. This is the customer satisfaction associated with that particular product versus the effort that we are going to spend. And this is the revenue generation, positive generation revenue. This proposal we have to share it with the stakeholder. Once we did then do that, all this particular solution has been done, and we share the solutioning part as well along with that. When we say solutioning, we are not going to start with the actual solutioning. We are just going to provide an MVP. When I say MVP is minimum viable product, you can say that particular product will be just a flow of the product, like the features. That okay, this feature, this product will have this feature, this feature will work. This is how the customer will interact with this application or this feature, and this is how. Now this MVP is something previously we used to use Figma to prototype it, and then we used to ask engineering team to develop something like this, just an HTML or using CSS and basic functionality, click and some clicks and click events with it. Right now with AI, we are able to do it much faster. So we provide this MVP. When this MVP develop, like lovable tool is there, Replit, Bolt, all those things, Versal, they enable you much faster to develop the MVP without depending on the engineering team, without adding the burden on them. Because engineering team is already occupied with multiple tasks of actually developing the real world features, but debugging those things. So this will give an added advantage for the competitor product manager to develop their own MVP and then go ahead with the stakeholder that okay, this is how the product will look like. Not exactly a replica, but definitely 70% approximately to function like this only. And that is something will give an advantage to the engineers as well, because they would understand, okay, this is how it will flow. The flow is like this, happy flow is like, negative flow is there like this. And because you have a working solution. So that is where the AI is helping. That's the solution part.
At this stage, so product manager is working with also with product owner and other
Yes,
stakeholders,
yes.
because this is like completely collaborative thing.
Yes. So once this segmentation is done, Abhishek, after that we go ahead with the PRD creation, product requirement document. Everything is being captured. Segment has been done. Solutioning is done. Solutioning, when I say from an MVP standpoint, now this document gets shared across the stakeholders. That okay, this is something we are going to do it. This is something we are going to develop. Why we are developing? We have all the secondary, primary research around it. Have a look. This is the proposal we need to share to the customer.
So there is one term which also comes with MVP. It's called MMF, minimum marketable feature. Is it similar to MVP? Is there any difference?
No, no. Minimum marketable features is more of understanding. It ties up more over towards this essential features. The one which is going to customer is going to use it, or you can say it's more of wow moment for that.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, if I am going to share a mapping solution or a healthcare domain, if I'm going to share a voucher for free health checkup, how am I going to share that? That's a minimum viable product that I'm going to share. That okay, checking, is this something you go to check, you have to log into the application, you can schedule your annual screen. But what if I'm providing them additional freemium plans? That's a marketable feature, MMF. So in terms of MMF, if I have to say layouts, if I have to mention in layman terms, the one which is going to attract customers. The feature, that one feature, maybe a freemium plan, maybe a voucher, maybe anything that is going to attract the customer to buy your product. Because once they buy your product, it's all about your product. That is how much it is worth it for them. Are they going to use it or not? This is the wow factor for them. But prior to that, you have to attract them. That's the MMF, minimum marketable feature.
Correct. So now this MVP is done. What is the next step after that?
So once MVP is done, you take the proposal, you take it and get it approved and all the stuff. Once the MVP development approval, everything is done, the engineering team will come into picture. Engineering team will have a discussion that what is possible, how much time and all those things. Now the further roadmap gets into it.
That's where the product owner will start.
The product owner will come into picture, the scrum master will come into picture, the customer success manager will come into picture. Why customer and all the other departments will be the informers. We have to inform them. But the accountability would lie with product owners, scrum master, engineering, DevOps teams, and ownership will lie with you. That okay, you have to make sure that these things are going in flow. Definitely you won't jump into all the scrum and all the stuff daily basis, but you need to be taking a follow that where we are standing in terms of the product actual release date versus what we are standing right now. Are there any pitfalls that we haven't discovered, or any budget elevation is there that we need, or any restriction that might have to, that because of which we have to release the product into different version releases. So that is also something that comes into picture initially. Sometime it comes. That is something that's where the roadmap and execution starts.
So during this phase, AI can help in writing stories, maybe creating personas. These things AI can do. And in fact, now I've heard that Microsoft was saying, I mean, some companies are saying that they're using Copilot and GitHub to, in fact, also do the coding part. And some are claiming that it's almost 50% by AI.
I think at this moment, what I understood is that AI is doing it. AI is doing the coding part, AI is doing it the product part as well, product user stories, creation, and everything. But still, it is not to that level where we can 100% rely on them. It's like they would suggest, they would be your helper, but you have to be the one who has to take the decision whether you merge this code or not, whether you are going to take the story and add it to the backlog or not, whether this is the test case acceptance criteria, this is something you need to be the decision maker, because they are generative tool, they would definitely there. Unless we give them a detailed prompt, we can't expect something of valuable. It's more of garbage in, garbage out concept. So we have to be very cautious about what we are providing it and what we are expecting in return. I'm providing it for the basic summarization task, or maybe some user stories creation or acceptance criteria. But at the same time, whatever it provides, I just don't blindly copy and paste it. I have to validate it, considering the biasness will be always there in the AI models. So that is a biasness you need to validate at your own responsibility. You need to be cautious enough while using it. But definitely it helps. At this moment, I would say that as per my experience, it has reduced significantly good amount of time, but not to the level that we can say, okay, blindly we can go ahead and copy paste everything. No.
Correct. That I think is far, far away. Maybe it will never happen.
It would, yeah, might be, or it can be. If that's happened, then it's like more of we would be just interacting with individuals. That our job would be like more of a just interaction part, not the actual part which take the decision. The decision making is always lying with us.
Correct, correct. Ultimately, we have kind of invented AI to help us becoming more efficient, right? That's the whole idea.
That is the whole idea. I hope it doesn't become our master.
Right. So now, let's say the development has started and it's ready to be launched. Okay, what happens then?
So when we are launching, when the GTM go to market, that's where once the development has been done, initial development has been done. Now you go to the next phase, that is the launch phase. How this launch is going to help you, what you are going to try it, how and when you are going to deploy it, how you are going to make sure that it doesn't disturb the existing architecture. Let's say it's support, if you are deploying a feature, You need to make sure that it doesn't disturb the entire architecture that is currently in the market or in the production right now. All those things needs to be keep in consideration. And apart from that, how you're going to make sure that this feature, for whom it was intended, how they are going to know about this feature. For example, if I have to say that a spectacles eye ophthalmologist is providing, we are adding that feature, that free eye checkup, and at the same time we are also providing that lenses at the affordable price. We want to attract customers. The GTM would be specifically that we are providing it, but what's the additional profit? We need to know that, okay, which are the person. We can't just share this particular email to all the customer base, because you might have this medical app which is being used by all the other patient of different types, but you need to target the customer that is kids or the one who is actually having some eye issues actually. So when you do that, you need to make sure that you send a personalized mail, that okay, these are the problems, these are the people who are suffering from eye issues, eye problems. You share a personalized message. This is the GTM, that okay, you have target segmented this thing. Now what is the GTM market? Okay, rest of the people are also giving it. What additional you are giving it, that okay, you are open on weekend as well. You're open on weekend, you're providing the lenses cart right next to your clinic. That's an additional feature you're providing. So that feature needs to be provided. And if you get the eye checkup done over here, then you have a specific voucher for this lenses. Like lens card itself. Lens card doesn't charges you for checking your eyes. Eye test is done free of cost.
Correct.
Mostly people go for there because of two things, because of the style of the lenses and all this quality, but at the same time they also know they don't want to go to the other ophthalmologist to get their eye checkup done. It's been done on their clinic as well, so I would prefer directly going to Lenska. So that is kind of GTM that needs to be discussed. When and how that needs to be discussed, that is where the particular GTM strategy would come into the picture.
Hmm. So as it is being launched and these strategies are being implemented, how do product management get involved in? So post this, there will be some feedbacks coming from the market, whether in terms of sales numbers, okay,
Definitely.
and also whether marketing campaigns are working or not working.
Yes.
So how does product manager get into all of this? Maybe do they look at the data and then analyze it? What is their role there?
So over there, product manager specifically over there is different as well. The designation, when I say product manager, end-to-end cycle is this from here, problem discovery to the solution. But after that, if you're looking into a GTM as well as at a different company, there are sometimes growth managers as well who look into this growth loops. Because once you hit the GTM, your task is done at that time. Most of the product managers might say that, okay, you would have some added responsibility of understanding the growth loops as well, because in some organization everything has been handled by one product manager end to end, right from GTM, growth loops, and as well as the customer
That must be a very senior role.
yeah, that would be very senior role, and that requires good amount of experience as well over there. Otherwise it is always divided into couple of different product managers. Like over there, when it's GTM, it's been hit. Now the product manager's responsibility is understanding that okay, these customers are using the product, these are my customer base. Now, how do I expand it? Right? That's where the growth loop comes into picture and the churn comes into picture. The retention also comes into this phase that, okay, what are the different strategies now you need to make sure that, okay, now I have scaled the solution for this people. How do I scale it across different region? What are the different things I need to consider? For example, let's say mapping product. If I just provide day-to-day maps for traveling, that is good. Growth loop is, if I have to scale this product for the people who are going to camping in Europe, there is an altogether different segment where people prefer going camping on a Alps region. So what is that additional feature you're going to bring out to that particular product that would keep the stickiness, cause customers stick to your product? That's the retention. So that additional product you have to identify again, that what all, again all those same cycle would happen, but at the same time you have to understand that which is the additional feature. You need to make sure that again that customer can have the wow moment, like aha moment. It's more of understanding that once you have attract the customer, he would use it, but after that, what? To search for something new. In India itself, it's if I say voice assistant in mapping, if it's going to give you in your regional language, you'd prefer much. You might feel much comfortable while understanding. Okay, you have to take left from here. Regional language, if this been enabled, maybe you would be more able to read it. Easy for him or that person to read it. So that growth loop is moreover understanding that what is the additional features that you can bring down to your app so that the retention stays, the churn reduces. That is something we need to understand as a growth managers or normal product manager as well.
So these additional features, okay, it may not always be a discovery kind of a thing, right? It can also come through various other sources. So how does in reality it work?
In reality, it's more of whenever you use this product, you have been allowed to participate in some of the surveys. Surveys have been floated. They are sometimes associated with some additional voucher or something, anything. But it's more of we take surveys, ground data, competitors' data, what competitors are doing it. Apart from that, what is the better benefits that you can think of providing to your customer? Sometimes you can use the competitors' data, customers' data. Apart from that, you can do your discovery. When I say secondary discovery, what I'm saying is that sometimes secondary discovery, you have mentioned you're going to provide your feature in chunks. You divided the product in phases. Maybe we have received some feedback in the initial launch itself that this product feature is not working. Maybe the button is a bit smaller. Maybe this particular color is not working good. That is something the valid feedback for many people. Maybe this particular green signal normally people consider as it's a go ahead signal. But what if I'm assigning a button that says stop and green color, people might not find it good at all. So you need to understand those things as well that okay, this is something that the customer has replied it. I need to understand why they have, what's the competitors are doing, what is in real world is going to happen in real world. Is it something feasible enough or should I change it? And when I say wow moments or aha moments, it's more of understanding that even the smallest tweak can also bring customer bring your make your customer happy. Not necessarily you need to do entirely a huge round of product discovery. No, not necessary.
Correct. So just staying on that topic, see in LLM models, right? If you ask a question and they give you a wrong answer, you say this is not correct. Okay.
Mm.
So it goes back as a feedback loop to training the model again.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Do we use this also to that extent in normal product feedback loops, or we are not yet using that?
So, as per my knowledge, where I have scaled 0 to 1 or 1 to 10, because I have been working in B2B, so I haven't got much exposure. As per my experience, what I would say that this feedbacks have been used as a iterative models. This are always a this feedback, customer feedbacks are always used as a iterative process. That okay, you take this error, rework it, release the next feature. For example, for in my current reporting structure, if I say this particular dashboard, they have we find it very attractive when the user has read it, but it's just a couple of users. When it goes along with 4 to 500 users or 5,000 users who are using this report, they have raised a feedback that you know what this particular color or this particular line needs to be more thicker than that. Why? That's the question is why? Why you think that this needs to be there? How is going to help you? That's the question, follow-up question we ask it. We we float a surveys as well by analyzing it. Then we gather that feedback. Okay, this is something, if the customer is saying it, maybe that is something logical. We validate it at the same time. Maybe we would just pass it, roll out that feature for that limited set of users. Out of 500, 5,000, we just roll out for 50 feature, 50 users and see what's their responses. Based on their response, we roll up that particular feature for the rest of the stakeholders, rest of the audience. So that's how definitely the customer feedback is the primary key pointer or primary point where we as a product manager rely on that okay, this is something we need to work upon and release in next feature. Because this is something is going to make sure that the customer stays on this platform and going to use our product.
So One is customers give them on their own. One, you can have some kind of a mechanism to put it. But is there any explicit way in which we can go and say, okay, we have to collect this input from the actual users? Do we do anything for that? Yeah, actual users of the product.
Actual users, in my previous organization, I used to do that, where we used to just talk to the people directly after using the product, that how they are feeling it in terms of this map feature. And most of it is not possible every time to go ahead and talk to the ground level user for me, but we used to provide the survey set for that. So, and we used to get that through NPS score. The NPS score was a true mechanism which enabled us to understand, okay, if the customer is really liking a product or not. What is the adoption rate? Definitely is there is the adoption rate, monthly active user, you can see it on that platform. But apart from that, the NPS also might make sense that, okay, they are using it, but at the same time, they are also providing some feedback that, okay, what is the UI? How would you rate the UI? How would you rate this particular feature? How would you rate this particular navigation feature? So we would get the rating, and as for the rating, we used to work on that. That, okay, this is something customer have asked. Then why? Then the further sales team used to interact along with us then to the customer, to why it is there.
Okay. So we have kind of gone through the entire cycle of product management, all stages. Do you think I missed something? Anything during in the entire phase of product
No, I
management?
think we have discovered. We have covered all of them. It starts with discovery, secondary analysis, secondary research, primary research, customer segmentation. I think we are good enough. We covered all the phase. Growth loops also we have talked about, and also the retention as well. So that's how the entire product life cycle is.
Now, I read somewhere autonomous product manager. The concept is being floated now.
Yeah.
How realistic is that? And is it ever going to happen?
So, autonomous product manager definition, that sounds good, that that's going to replace all the product manager, but not. Wherever I read all those things and I have gathered insights from all my previous individuals, seniors, autonomous PM means it's not going to replace you, first of all. It's going to reduce your task. It's going to enable you to define better product strategy, to protect better product discovery, do better customer collaboration. When I say collaboration, it's not just a customer, it's also the department collaboration. Making sure all of them are on the same page in terms of understanding the empathy. All those things are still where human intervention is needed. Definitely autonomous PM, when I say, I would imagine doing some of the tasks of competitor analysis. I would just lay down the statement that, okay, this competitor is there, these are the competitors, I have this product. Can you suggest me what are the strength, weakness? Do the SWOT for me, and after that, provide me what are the other features that haven't been discovered yet, and how do you think how feasible is that feature deployment, development? They might suggest, the LLM might suggest it, but I need to use this with caution that it has its own biasness. So definitely it will reduce summarizing the user interviews, summarizing the product discovery, summarizing the customer segmentation. It's going to help you over there. Prioritization to some extent. But at the end of the day, it's a person, it's a human, it's you who is going to take the decision whether it's going to do or not. At the end of the day, you are the owner of your product, not the LLMs, not the scenario.
Correct. Well said. So let's talk about some of the things which actually also are part of the product thinking, product management. Like you mentioned, empathy. Okay. It's a pretty much non-AI human kind of a thing, right? Pretty much human. So let's first say what is empathy and why AI can't have a role in this.
So when I say empathy, it's more of understanding yourself in customer's place. When I say customer's place, you don't need to mention to the customer that I understand your pain, I understand your problem. I really feel sorry for it. It's more of understanding that what the customer is going through, what's the customer is spending in terms of hours, in terms of money, how it's spending, understanding that, and understanding what is the solution that you're going to provide it. Have that kind of mindset, because in the long run, features are going to be developed, all things are going to be developed, but the human to human interaction, that way of understanding the things, the frustration, all those things. I can definitely say LLM that this person is first frustrated, this things are there, but the revenue is lower. Maybe the customer was not happy. He might have his own way of saying that LLMs might have biased towards the revenue part. He might say, no, you should be prioritizing this because this is more revenue generating. But at the same time, I need to keep in mind that, okay, what if I lose this particular customer? What is the other things that I'm going to lose around it? Maybe that customer is already using other features as well. You might withdraw that particular entire thing and go to any other customer, to the other service provider rather than reaching out to our company. So I need to understand that empathy, that okay, every customer, treat them with empathy, understanding their problems. So thinking in a way that okay, if I have to spend this amount of money and I'm getting this kind of service, what is the thing I would be doing for? What is the thing I should be enabling so that it solve that particular problem? So that is something I need to have empathy.
Correct. Related to another aspect is the thought process of having a product, right? It is not something which is a pure science,
Yeah.
right? So that is where your cognitive understanding and the creative thinking comes into picture.
Yes.
That is another thing which I believe is going to be a pretty human thing, and AI cannot do anything.
So when you say cognitive thinking, creative thinking, definitely there is a saying that a room full of participants, full of stakeholder, particular individuals, will always have a better set of ideas as compared to what you feed to the LLM. LLM will definitely provide you all those ideas which are already somewhere discussed, correct, not the one which would be a lateral one, out of box one, where this room full of these people would be always having that kind of mindset that they might think something unrealistic, but that is something can be a one which could be a enabler for your mark, for your product. So it's better. It would not replace you. AI can't replace that thing, but definitely AI can suggest you all those things which you might have not thought alone.
Is it possible for AI to kind of create a completely new segment, or think of a completely new product which has not existed so far?
I have heard that it can suggest. I haven't tried it my now, so I won't be able to answer that very correctly.
What about the product strategy? Can AI help in defining or at least laying down the broader level product strategy for an organization?
So product strategy is something specifically when you lay down this particular plan. It is done for 2 years, 3 years. It's a long-term plan. Whenever you roll up a particular application from 0 to 1, 1 to 10, and then 100. AI can definitely help you providing that data points that might help you to change your product strategy. But AI really defining their product strategy, maybe it would have some biasness as well. So that is something we can't risk it out. Product strategy is something is completely product manager's job to understand that why this product feature needs to go ahead, because product managers roles and responsibilities completely aligns towards product strategy, and understanding this product strategy should change or not based on the customer's feedback, based on the customer's need, present demand in the market. That is something needs to be there. So AI can definitely help you in redefining the product strategy or dynamically changing the product strategy, but it can't directly redefine the entire thing for you. You have to take the decisions over there. It can suggest the points, but it can't just design everything for you. Product strategy is something as a product manager, you need to own it.
Yeah. So now you mentioned bias, and you mentioned things which are related to issues with AI as of now. So let's start with a broader question. What are the risks associated with using AI for product management or in general in anything which we are trying to create?
So, in general, as well as, and I think in product management as well, you use AI, but we need to use responsibly. When I say responsibly, you have that sense that this particular AI model is providing the answer based on some data that has been trained, and that might have some biasness as well. When I say bias, and that this data has been fed or trained on those models, maybe they are your competitors' data, not your data. Maybe just your competitors' data has been used to get trained on this model. Now, what you are learning or what you are training, getting the answer based on that competitors' data. So, out of the box thinking, lateral thinking is not there. Second thing, the risk is that whenever you are feeding your entire data, if you're just thinking that, okay, this your entire data is something, it would be helpful if you provide entire good prompts, definitely it would be. But at the same time, you're also feeding your data as well. That would be crucial for some other competitors as well across the market. The same LLM models is being used by across the people, across different companies, competitors. So you need to understand the risk associated with it, how it's going to use it against you, and at the same time, the biasness is in the data. So always have it validated across the data, across different models, and maybe do your own due diligence from verified sources like government sites or Statista, this kind of websites, or try to connect it with the primary research.
Let's talk about the bias. First thing is, how does the bias come into the outputs produced by the AI? And is there anything which we can do to avoid it or kind of minimize the impact of biasness?
So whenever you are using any kind of data by model for research or any kind of from computer research, which I prefer particularly, I never go ahead with the research part only in one site, LLM tools. I would use multiple LLM tools to understand what they are actually referring to. I use the citations or the research paper that's been provided. I won't just go ahead and copy paste or just rely on those information that has been shared across the different LLM models, generative tools, and put it. First thing is that valid resources. When I say valid, it's government trusted sites. The site, because whenever you prompt it, you get the full feedback. You can ask for the resources, citations, and research papers. They would provide it. The LLMs provide, specifically Perplexity is very good at it. It definitely provides good. Second, apart from this, whenever I gather the data, I try to compare with the primary research that I have done for the customer or my team has done or my company has that data. I would rely on that rather than doing that. I would try to connect and see if this particular research is talking to particular my user interview or not. If not, then why? I would again do another set of iteration, another set of due diligence, another set of secondary research just to do that. So biasness, why it happens? Biasness is basically your model has been trained on different data that you are not aware of. It's not your company data. It's globally located data across the world, whatever it fetches. Now, how much reliable are those sources? We don't know. So, whenever they provide it, they might provide in the favor that you are in. It might go in that direction, or it might contradict as well. If it contradicts, you might not like. But if it just because it has favored your opinion, it doesn't mean it's right as well. So you need to be very cautious. You are using it, so you need to use the citation. You need to check the research papers. You need to check your primary sales research. If they are in alignment, then you should go and use that as a reference point. Otherwise, I won't agree for that.
So, after bias, the next thing will be about security. Yeah. So, because these are all cloud hosted LLMs, and so in your case, you're using Copilot, which is enterprise, so hosted in your enterprise. But not everybody can do that or are willing to put in that much investment right now. So, what can you do about the security of the data?
In the security part, to be honest, whenever I use it, I don't club my personal account anywhere in the elements. I used to do it. Recently, I have stopped doing that. I don't use my any of the accounts that has all the site information, my visited sites, my passwords or banking details associated with that. I won't use it. First thing is that because whenever you're using it, it asks for an access for all the other applications, where like a normal application asks an access. So you need to make sure that you are not giving that kind of, or you are using it, you're registering it, then use it with the other email ID created, which is not tied to any of your personal stuff. That is something I normally do out. I'm right now implementing it at my end. And that was kind of mentioned by one of my colleague who is a cloud architect. So he was actually emphasizing all this stuff, all that how complicated AI is right now and what are the risk associated security wise. So that is something we need to mention, that when you're using it, those things needs to be considered while using AI to the fullest. Because when you're using it, it feels good, but with the advancement of this technology in the market, there are high chances that your particular stuff has been also getting leaked out somewhere in the dark web. So that is something you would always take care of, those accounts which are something very precious to you. Just keep it aside. Don't engage those accounts with your daily use with this in daily interaction purpose with this LLMs or any of the AI tools.
So this same applies for enterprise data as well, right? So there also you need to keep in mind that if you're uploading, giving it as a supporting stuff to the prompts, it can be used.
Yeah, so in enterprise, there is a only difference is that, let's say if this data gets used by anywhere else, by any other, my organization will have all the rights to sue that particular company to the LLMs, to Copilot, that okay, this is something was not as per. The reason of enterprise edition is that whatever stays in that cloud particular space, I'm doing it. It stays within that particular organization limits.
Within your enterprise
Yeah,
control.
it is not going to get shared with any other else. They have the all the rights. My company has all the rights. But even after that, we don't share any of the customer data or any of the data to LLMs. We just hide or manipulate the particular details, keep, or maybe we summarize it just at a high level, that okay, this is something I've been asked. I just summarize it, but I won't say the numbers, all those things. I just share it in that way. I need to make sure on that one. But that is something I, and at the same time, we have been already advised that okay, we should be able to use this in your day-to-day stuff. This is an enterprise tradition. So all our transactions are on our organization bills. So that's that.
So now coming to the last segment, where we're going to talk about the skills.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think are the key skills for an aspiring product manager? And once they become a product manager, what should they kind of acquire to remain relevant and grow?
The top three skills that I can think of for becoming a product manager: acceptance of ambiguity, that okay, you are ready to delve into ambiguity. If this is something excites you, then only jump in, because there would be always ambiguity till the last phase of development, and times you deploy that product to the market, the GTM as well. At times you don't know whether it's going, so that would be ambiguous in every situations. Second, you have need to have that empathy mindset. You need to be empathizing. You need to have that empathy mindset while dealing with the stakeholders, customers, and also the developers as well across the team. You can't just yell at any of the person and say that okay, this is something that needs to be done. You need to understand the problem, and then we might have to revamp this product map, roadmap as well by talking to them. Other is data literacy. Why I'm saying data literacy? You need to know everything based on your data. You need to talk in terms of your data, that okay, why you are taking this decision, that okay, this is supported by this data pointers. Where from where you have gathered that, you need to provide their sources as well. Previously, we used to provide data features, develop the feature as per the customer request directly. Now the things have been changing. We suggest why. If the customer is suggesting, we ask why behind it, why you need that feature, how it's going to benefit you. And at the same time, with advancement of AI, definitely the data is something you need to be very well versed with that. If you're asking something to the AI as well, it will provide some data to you. You need to know that why that particular answer has been thrown like that by the LLMs. You have to be data fluent. This is the by default mandate skills. Right now, the better you are, and once you get into product management, definitely you would handle many other ambiguities, many other responsibilities, cross conflict management you would learn. Apart from that, from a tech skill, constantly think, always try to get your hands dirty with the latest AI tools, be it MVP tools, be it PowerPoint deck presentation tools, be it summarizing tools, be it anything. Let's say MVP tools, Lovable, Replit, all those things are there. Prototyping tools, PowerPoint, Gamma, Canva, all those things are already there. Core writing tools, you don't need to be well aware of that, but at least you need to know that these tools exist, like Windsor, sorry, like Cursor.ai. You have that kind of. You need to know that okay, these tools exist. And apart from that, summarizing, when you use this chat GPTs, it's not just one. Every LLM tools has its own benefit. Perplexity for research, human generation, conversational like topics, chat GPT, you can go ahead and search it. Definitely will help you, or cloud as well. So you have to know the strongest point of each of the technologies, each of the tools that exist there in the market.
Does manager also need to be aware of SQL or some kind of data skills?
So it depends on the type of the role. If you're in a business facing, where your interaction may be just on the business side, developing an application and all those things, it is good to know, but you might not require it on a day-to-day basis. Businessman, product manager. But let's say for people like me, where I'm into data side, data product manager or data product owner, or delving with the data side, where you're using this data insights, it is better to have SQL. It's like if you have it, you would always have an upper hold. It's like more of like the AI tools. You don't need to know all the coding. Basic coding is also, if you know the for loops, how it works, while loops, all it's better. But that doesn't mean that you don't know that you, if you don't know that, you can't enter. You can enter definitely, but it's better if it gives an upper hand. That's, I would say, like that.
So, one piece of advice for anyone who is planning to become a product manager or aspires to become a product manager.
Yep. I think the best advice, I would say that if you aspire to become a product manager, accept the fact that there will be always ambiguity. There would be always multiple people who would be saying that okay, this is the right solution, this is right, but always go ahead and talk with the basis on the basis of your data, and at the same time take help of your mentors or your seniors as well. Definitely, that is going to help you out in the long run. And you need to have the empathy mindset. You can't just jump into it without that mindset.
Correct. Now, anyone who is listening to this podcast and wants to connect with you to get some advice, where can they reach out?
I think the best place is LinkedIn. Please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm already writing some of the pod post on a weekly basis, inspired with by my previous mentors. So you can just search me, Kaushik Samant, on LinkedIn. I would be there. You can reach out to me over there.
Great. So, thank you so much for your time. It was very, very insightful. And just for the viewers, this was really a deep dive into product management as well as how AI can be leveraged in product management. So, we had really a super podcast. Thanks for watching this. See you in the next podcast. Thank you.